A few days ago, I was able to watch Smile 2, and that was the first time I'd gone to the movies in quite a while, so here are my thoughts on it. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I like talking about a lot of movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of Smile 2 over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out once this video is over. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe because that really does help a lot. And if you're wondering why I haven't really been posting out content lately, I have some very simple answers to this. This month, there was just a lot of crazy stuff with family gatherings and stuff going on in my life. And adding to that, I was sick for a few weeks, so I couldn't really go to the movies when I was sick. Couldn't really watch a lot of stuff. I saw Wild Robot, I saw Megalopolis, but I didn't really see much this week. So I actually missed Joker 2. I've still not seen Joker 2, although I wanted to see Joker 2 as the reviews. They're kind of blazing right now, but I've still not seen Joker 2. And so this was actually the first time I've been to the movies in a good 2 to 3 weeks, and so yeah, now that I'm not sick anymore, I could hopefully go back to watching movies, posting more videos, and so with all that said, let's just get straight into it talking about the good. And to put it super straightforward here, I would say this is a decent follow-up to the original Smile film. To give a little bit of context of the original Smile film, I was expecting Smile 1 to be just like trash. The trailers looked super generic, just like okay, lame horror movie stuff. Then I saw it on like my birthday weekend, I think. It was somewhere around my birthday when I turned, what was it? I turned 13 when the original Smile came out. And saw that one and walked out of the theater thinking, that was pretty cool actually. I enjoy the original Smile, and I rewatched the movie like last month in preparation for this film. And so that is my experience with the Smile movie. I went into this movie not particularly with high expectations, but I left the theater once again saying, that was pretty good, that was decent. And what I enjoy about this movie as well as the first film, I think the best thing about these movies is the way they are able to create tension in sequences and scenes through framing and just the way the camera is used by the director. The way he just uses his camera is often it's something that's not really done in a lot of horror movies, where there's a lot of these still shots with a bunch of space around the characters, and sometimes they'll just like slowly pan to the right or slowly pan to the left. And that's what I really enjoy about these Smile movies, is that they have a distinct way of framing, that there's something just a little bit off about it, a little bit uneasy, and it sets the atmosphere of the film properly. And I think that's what makes this movie distinct, and you know, that makes the sequences a little bit more memorable and effective when the scares do happen. Really, really effective scares as well, just like the way it was done in the first film. I would say this one has almost just as effective scares. I don't think that I jumped at a single jump scare in this movie, but that's just somebody who's used to horror movies. But if you want to go for a thrill ride, this movie offers a lot of scares in store for you. And this movie, I think the best part about this movie, in the way the camera was used actually, was the opening sequence. I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but the opening sequence of this movie is a good like 10 minute, maybe not 10 minute, maybe a little under 10 minute, one take sequence. The cold open to this movie is entirely one shot, and that's how I love it when movies do that. To give you a good example of one of those, we got the Extraction movies on Netflix. Those have some of the best one-take action sequences that I've ever seen in a film. But anyway, I'm getting kind of off topic here. Just the framing, the way the camera is used, I think that's the best thing about both of these Smile movies. With that, it's able to offer some solid chilling sequences. And the movie, what it does a great job at as well is through its storytelling and the way that our lead character is kind of designed to be. The movie plays around a lot with reality, what's real and what's fake. And so throughout the movie, as they reveal more information, as more twists and turns are thrown into the mix, you can't really tell what's real and what's not real. And I'd say, for some of that, that is a positive about this movie. We'll get to more of that in the negative section of this video. But I think that that's what both of these movies just do so well, is they, as the lead character is going more insane, the audience is also not sure what to believe, as the lead character loses her sanity. So, I think that that's what both of these movies do such a good job, is playing with the audience's mind in what's going on, what's real, what's not. And I think this movie does it effectively enough. So in general, a decent follow-up to the original, but everybody seems to be raving about this movie. I'm not in that camp, so let's move on to the bad. And when it comes to the negatives on this movie, I enjoy the original Smile. It's never one that I've thoroughly enjoyed or absolutely loved. It's just one I was pleasantly surprised by. I enjoy that movie. I give it a B. And with this film, I don't think I liked it as much as the original. Everybody is saying that this one's better than the original, it outdoes the original. But I'm not sure that I could be in that camp. And I think like I said before, one of my praises of the movie was how it plays between what's real, what's not real, and builds tension throughout those sequences. With this film, I felt like it didn't do it as well as the first film. Because what this film decides to do is it decides to double down on all that, go all out insane and bonkers with everything that's kind of going on. It plays around even more with reality and, like I've repeated several times. But I think the line between what's real and what's fake is totally lost here. Now, I know that might be intentional. The writers probably made this intentional so that it could put you as an audience member in the position of our lead character in this film. But the difference is, with the first film, I didn't feel as confused about what was real and what was not as I do in this movie. And once you get to the final 30 to 40 minutes of this movie, it can get awfully confusing. And I know that's probably intentional, but it also pulled me out a little bit. I wouldn't say it's as effective when it does those trippy sequences. And I also simply couldn't connect to the lead character. So, in the first film, our lead character was a therapist. And what I enjoyed about that film was that it had a lot more character to it than I was expecting, with somebody with an actual backstory, and you cared about this person. And her backstory in the first film was that she was afraid because her mom basically drugged herself to death, and she was afraid of her. And there's just something kind of relatable about that, where sometimes bad things happen and you want to do something about it, but your heart's not in the right place to do so, and it can lead to dire consequences. And I think there's something about that first Smile movie that I think that just did it really well and made the character a little bit more easy to connect to. But I'm not going to go into spoilers while talking about this movie. But with the lead character in this movie, they gave her a backstory. They tried to do the same kind of thing, but I didn't feel it was nearly as relatable as the backstory they give her. I personally can't relate to it, and it just kind of makes her look kind of unlikable in that sense, if I was being honest. So I just couldn't connect with the lead character the way I did with the first film. And the final thing to talk about here in the negatives is the ending. Now, and when I talk about the ending, I mean the last 5 minutes of the movie, or the last 2 minutes of the movie in this case. Well, I'm not a big one to trash on horror movie endings, as sometimes they're shocking for the sake of being shocking. But with this movie's ending, the implications of what it could mean for the future of this franchise that we're now building out, it's kind of just like a WTF moment for me. I'm not really sure if it applies to the rules set up before, and what they do with the ending, it kind of like contradicts some of the logic of like what we've learned in the previous film. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it's just I left the movie kind of confused by the time we get to the end. So in general, a good enough sequel to the original, while not necessarily putting as big of a smile on my face and being very flawed at the same time. So overall, I'm going to give this one a B-, but those are just my thoughts on Smile 2. Down in the comment section, share what you thought of it over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. I'll see you in the next one.